And here's why we use the little knocks. What's happening, everybody? So my last video I reviewed the XOP Renegade hunting saddle harness system, and in this video I'm sharing with you basically what my first weekend was like. I had probably 6, 10, maybe 13 or 14 hours total in the saddle. I did some running and gunning, some moving, and I just wanted to share that experience with you. A lot of deer footage and some action. So take a look, leave comments, like, subscribe, share. See you on the next one. All right, I had to come back on the ground for a couple reasons. One, I forgot my backpack, so I had to put that back on. It's mostly empty, but there's a couple things in there I need. Two is I realized that I had my ropes on the wrong side. I'm right-handed, so I need my prusik knots. Oops, sorry about that. I need my prusik knots and my carabiners on my right. So I came down the tree, and as long as I was grabbing my backpack, I went ahead and switched up my ropes. All right, here I am, guys, and I'm not even ready to hunt yet. 40 minutes it's taken me to get to this point where my lineman belt is off, my bridge and tether are attached, and I am somewhat comfortably sitting in my tree. So I gotta finish setting up here. I gotta get ready to shoot. All right, so I need different accessories, no doubt about it. That arm is not really going to work. I can kind of swing this around so that when I want to make my way over here to my left, for example, as long as the bow is in my hand, it should be fine. But part of the issue is I've flat out got to learn to trust this thing. That is the bottom line, is I've got to have trust in this system. So, and that's what I'm working on now. All right, guys, time and temperature check, 7:08, 30 degrees. I'm hot. I finally have an arrow nocked. I have my release. I have everything set. I am knee pads on, leaning against the tree. And man, I look at this rig and I'm like, I am putting my life, I'm putting a lot of faith in a lot of knots. But we always do, right? If you're using a climbing tree stand, if you use a platform stand, I fell out of a ladder stand last year. So I would argue the safety of any stand being 100%. So, okay, so obviously this is something that will get faster as I become more proficient and systematic. But first try, I needed to leave a full half hour earlier from my house than what I did, because it was shooting light 15 minutes ago, and but the system right now is comfortable. I am gonna have to, not on this level probably, but I'm gonna have to mess with how high I want my tether, where it is. You know, I use the Gearhead T18, so I have a short limb bow. I'll be able to, even from this position, draw past my tether and bridge. So I'm not terribly concerned about that, not terribly. Another thing, I need a mechanical prusik knot, or I think it's called an ascender. Oh, there's a deer coming. There's a deer coming. looks like a very small buck fawn. So as you can see, this morning I'm set up way further down the hill where I saw the buck and 2 does come out last weekend. And I'm really close to the backyards. I don't think anyone would notice me, but nonetheless, I set up because the wind is blowing out of the bedding areas on top of the hill down. It's coming out of the northeast. So I'm set up here, and this is just what I thought would happen, is that the deer would come to my left. So I'm set up to shoot from my strong side. Doe fawn. She came within about 42 yards, but she was right on the edge of that backyard, as you saw. So, learning things right now that I need to address. One is my bow arm has to go higher. There's no way I could go left to get a shot around the tree. It would interfere. Normally, in my climber or any tree stand, I like it down low to my left so I can grab it, because I don't like reaching up. But in this instance, I'm just gonna have to. There's really no two ways about it. So, all right, so my first hour in the saddle, so far so good. No pain, no pinching, and I can adjust. It's, it's like wearing any other kind of harness, where you get that pinch point in the crotch. That happens. I've had cheap, crappy harnesses, and I've had very expensive ones. I think I'm currently using a Summit, and it does the same thing. So there's always those little adjustments you got to make for your meat and tooth edge. So, but so far so good, really. I'm kind of experimenting with sliding off to my left, and a couple things I'm finding. One is my platform. It's a little slick on top. Sorry about the hand there. It's a little slick on top. So, but I will be very easily able to come over to this side of that tree to shoot. That little buck came from behind me. I turn around. I lost my footing. My left leg went flying up in the air. And, yeah, I got some stuff to get used to here. But, thankfully not a shooter, because he was about 35 yards out. Okay, so, expecting snow tomorrow. So, cool. And I love hunting snow. I love the increased visibility. And I've always seen more deer when it's snowing or after fresh snow. And I don't know if it's just because they're more visible, because they don't slip by me as easily. But I am gonna move. I'm gonna move my whole operation. I'm gonna time it. I'm gonna time how long it takes for me to completely get to the ground, torn down, everything strapped back to my pack, and I'm actually going a little deeper into the woods where I'm seeing the deer. And basically I'm gonna leave everything except, I'm gonna take off my lower climbing sticks so that I can safely leave them here in the woods overnight. Not that I worry about it, I'm on private land. So anyhow, I'm gonna start the timer. 18 minutes, bow in hand, ready to walk. And I was being pretty methodical. So let's go find a new spot. 25 minutes to find a new spot, about 100 yards away. All right, arrow knocked, release strapped to my wrist, ready to hunt in 51 minutes. That's a complete teardown, moving 100 yards. My first time doing it. Now, you might think, boy, that's an awful long time. And it's definitely a long time. But if I were doing this with my climber, my river's edge would probably take me 35 minutes. And it wouldn't be nearly as quiet. So what I lose in speed, I gain in stealth. I gain in silence and quiet. I was careful. I was methodical. I was being very disciplined about my noise. And I've put myself in a spot that I've seen deer all day. So I've seen 9 deer come through this little run. So something to think about, but I'm gonna keep hunting, and unless I get a shot at a deer, I won't record anymore in the woods here. Except I do want to show you a couple of things. I've done away with the arm entirely, the long swinging arm to hold my bow, and so I got 2 of these hooks. And yes, they're screwed into the tree. I'm on private land, so that is fully legal and allowed. As you can see, we got snow. It is 29 degrees. It's 7:05 in the morning. I've seen 7 deer already, 6 does and a buck. And I saw 6 of them before I even got my bow up in the tree with me. I got a lot to learn about saddle hunting. One is it takes me a lot longer to get set up, just a lot longer. So I gotta leave earlier. I left myself half set up out here. I only took off the bottom 2 steps to come out and... Oh, here comes another deer. Here comes another deer. So I'm in a very thick spot. I don't have a lot of visibility, but in the snow, I love hunting snow. I love hunting snow more than anything. It just gets the deer insanely active, I found. And this morning is not proving me wrong. But I am in a spot where my visibility is fairly limited. It's fairly thick because I think this is where a mature buck will come through. The buck that I just saw, oh, here she comes, What you saw right there is exactly where and how I expect a mature buck to travel through here. So, I feel like I have a pretty good spot. That was a pretty small buck. He needs 2 years minimum. Anyhow, it's insane. And I feel good about this morning. I may take a doe, but she's gonna have to present a pretty near perfect shot. And I do have a tag to fill, that's the problem. But man, there was a giant buck just killed in this area that I saw about a week ago. He was taken out, I think Wednesday night or Thursday night. So just a monster, probably 140, 150 class. So if I remember, I'll put the picture in this video, but he was killed in this neighborhood. So we know there's big bucks in here. And I'm hoping today is the day. I love doing this, but man, I want the pressure off. I just want the pressure off. So I kind of planned on going to the cabin today, but with the snow, I just did not want to make the drive, and I thought I would have a pretty good opportunity here. I worked last night. I do ring announcing on the side, and I was up a little late. My voice was very worn out from announcing 15 fights, and so I just thought I would let myself sleep in my own bed and come down here in the morning. And so far, I am not disappointed. Temperature check on Sunday, November 14th. It is 1:45 and it is 34 degrees with a light breeze, slight wind, probably 8 miles an hour out of the northwest. I'm watching two does to my left, just feeding and browsing and working their way toward me, and I may just take a shot if one comes in range here. But I climbed up in my stand for the afternoon set. I looked to my left and there they were. So it's a doe and a fawn. I can see right now that they are about 55 yards out. Might be two fawns too, so the one on the left is certainly a fawn. I can tell by how short its nose is. The one on the right could be a decent enough doe that I would take her. So why not wait for a buck? Well, you know the old saying, don't pass up on the first day the deer you would be happy to have on the last day. Oh, there's a third deer. So doe and two fawns. So yeah, hopefully I get an opportunity this afternoon. I may just watch these deer for a while and see if they bring in a buck. They're moving so slowly that if they do present a shot, it's going to take some time. I mean, they're just walking, just browsing. One of my favorite things about deer hunting is just watching the deer. So, it's pretty cool. pretty disappointing to miss that. I just misjudged the distance. I thought she was at a 20-yard tree and she was 25. I'll have to look at the footage to see just how bad I missed her, if it was a twig or what, but that's disappointing. I had my anchor point on, and I had the 20-yard pin right on her heart. So that was all me. Not much else to say about it, but let's talk a little bit about the XOP saddle here. As I finish my second day, I shouldn't even say finish. I don't know. It's probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock right now. So far, I like it, and I'll tell you my experience though. My first day in it, I must have just been really tense in my body because I was incredibly sore last night when I went to bed and when I woke up in the morning. So I think I was probably just not able to relax. Just the new experience of kind of dangling over the precipice of hell, 20 feet up in the air, you know. So, here's the other thing is I need a bigger platform. The Hawk Helium platform that goes on top of my Hawk Helium climbing stick, it's too small. And like this doe that I just shot at, as I was angling to possibly take a shot at a yearling that was with her, my right leg was starting to get all pins and needles and go a little numb. So, and I think that's the platform, not the saddle, or maybe a combination of the two. So there's that. But those does are still back there, and they're about 70 yards away or so. So it's still possible a buck could come in, but man, it's really a shot to my confidence. You know, in a lot of ways, I second guess everything, you know. Should I have, you know, maybe I shouldn't have gone with 55 pounds. Maybe I should have gone up to 65 pounds and pushed the edge of, you know, when I was trying bows out, 65 was doable. But I was concerned with practice that I would wear out my shoulder shooting, you know, 55, 60 arrows. You know, I like to shoot 50 to 100 arrows when I practice. So there's that. You know, did I get the right bow? Do I need better sights? I need more practice. That's one thing that's darn sure. Is as much as I've practiced with this bow, it's apparently not enough. She was standing broadside at 25 yards, and I shot under her. I completely misjudged the distance. I was careful with my anchor point. I was, you know, I'm going through the checklist of my mind, and the two things that I didn't know, the two unknowns, were the distance, and then there were little twigs in front of her. I may have threaded through there, but I don't know. And I'll be surprised if the footage shows me anything, so we'll see. Anyhow, I'm going to sign off here and see if I get another opportunity tonight. Does she see me? So I'm just sitting here kind of examining the whole outfit, right? All the ropes, all the knots, you know. And I realized, like, you know, my lineman's rope is just sitting in the bag. So I decided, what if I had 2 bridges? What if I doubled up on my bridge? So I did. And my initial thought was it's probably going to mess with my mobility, my ability to turn my hips left and right, and it doesn't at all. So I'm using 2 bridges, and I've never seen anybody do that before, but I just like the idea of a backup. It gives me a little bit more faith, a little more confidence. So yeah, there's about an hour of shooting light left. Maybe more with the snow. You know, the snow just keeps everything lit up a little longer, but we're talking legal shooting light, right? So this setup is a win. And if you're worried, like, hey, I'm a fat guy, I'm an old guy, I don't think I can do this. Well, you can. If you use tree stands, you can do this. I understand there's people who get to an age where they don't feel comfortable getting into tree stands anymore. But if you can do a tree stand, there's no reason you can't do a saddle. I feel more safe because I'm never in a position where I'm not connected to the tree. It's quiet, it's mobile, and I'm a fan. So I'm gonna cut this video off here unless I get another shot. If I get another shot, well, maybe there'll be some post editing action. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you'll subscribe and like the video, help me hit the YouTube algorithm, and you know, maybe someday I can be one of the big hunting channels. You know, I wonder which of the big hunting channels started out like thinking, this is never going anywhere, I'm wasting my time. Probably all of them, but I enjoy doing it. I feel like at least I'm cataloging things for my children, and maybe my grandchildren someday will take an interest if the world doesn't go crazy and remove every hunting video off of YouTube. Anyhow, I'm gonna shut up, stop rambling. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.